I can't thank you enough for being a part of this with us. And I just want to express my personal thanks to the church for allowing us to come. Maybe you don't experience this like we do, maybe you don't see this the way that we do, but when we travel around the country, there are churches who refuse to allow us to use their facilities to teach. They believe that the Constitution is too political.
As a young man, was pretty much brought up in churchry. There was this unspoken or even sometimes spoken rule that religion and politics don't mix.
And that for some strange reason, Christians should not be involved in politics.
And even more so, you wouldn't dare speak out against the government or somehow resist or not do what they say.
Christians have to be involved in politics. God commands it. The scripture supports that.
I always heard it through Romans 13 presentation that we were basically taught enjoined us to slavish submission to government. Like, you just submit no matter what. There was really no evaluation of what maybe the directive might be.
One of the most powerful voices in America is being silenced by errant teaching from the pulpit.
I thought it was easy to sort of sum up that Romans 13 says, don't be lawless. And that's the core teaching there. Don't be lawless. And then I notice as Paul is describing the believer's relationship with government, God speaks through him to actually define the role of government as well. What happens when they're not a minister for good? What happens when they're not punishing evil but promoting evil? What about when they're punishing good? What about when they're doing things outside of their defined role? If I follow them, when they step outside of their role, doesn't that make me lawless when they're being lawless? And if Romans 13 says I'm not to be lawless, then I violate that when I submit to lawless government. I started looking at the Old Testament and other stories in the New Testament and found all of these examples of people of God saying no to unrighteous government, to unlawful government, resisting. Romans 13 does not teach a slavish submission to government, because if it did, then the Hebrew midwives in Exodus violated biblical principles. Daniel, by resisting government, violated principles. God himself recruiting Moses to resist the king, Pharaoh, we would have to have God violating the very principles that he allegedly laid down. So I don't believe the Bible entertains the notion of uninvolved people of God. There is no passive Christianity.